I'm an excellent math teacher, and I make this offer for free if you're a student and you want to come on TV or off TV. Either way, I prefer you on TV to show you your strengths and your weaknesses, and then we go work on your weaknesses and develop your strengths. So I'm making this offer for free. Those who are interested to learn. You don't have to be a student. You could be an adult. You know, show other adults that you're capable of learning. Put in the time, and I have good guidance because I understand math pretty well. The fundamental parts of it, the foundation of it. So contact me at dkc@gmail.com, and you automatically get a leaflet back on. Currently, it's Robert Reich's, probably maybe developing it. Robert Reich's economic plan for getting us out of the mess we're in right now. Or if you don't say anything, you just get back a leaflet automatically. If you want to do something, I want to learn math. I'm willing to go on your TV show and learn math. Whatever. If you want to learn to write, I'm a pretty good writer. Maybe you want to learn science. I have a good foundation in science. I've explored a lot of things that are not well understood by even scientists. Okay. So now you got the idea. So I'm going to make one other pitch. Here's a letter I wrote on Craigslist. Each week I'm refining it. Here's my current refined letter. It says, spiritual activists wanted for meaningful collaborations. Midtown West. So I live in the Times Square area. That's Midtown West. I'm open to a faithful, lifetime, meaningful relationship with a spiritual woman dedicated to creating a better world and to spiritual development through meditation, vegetarianism, simple living. I'm quite content to be in my house and the most walk or go someplace when it's necessary, like to hand these tapes in. And also on Manhattan Cable TV, on public access, called Math, Science, and Ethical Living. On my TV show, I promote economic justice networking through shifting $600 billion in income from the top 5% to the bottom 95%. So here's a sign on that. I got the wrong side. So here's the side how to transform the world quickly. We'll talk about that in a minute. I got to flip the sign over. It's a lean-to sign. Okay. Oh, maybe I'll flip it over now. I don't have to be so lazy, do I? Because I'm talking about. Oh, look at that. I hit the master. This is Master Darshan saying he's neglected because he's dead. He's the living master, Satmar Dindasan. Okay. See, all U.S. workers who work full-time will get enormous benefits. If we follow Robert Reich's book, Aftershock, page 129 to 132, he shifts $633 billion yearly in income from the top 5%, those earning more than $160,000, to the bottom 95%. I have a free leaflet on that. Okay, let's put this down for now. Okay, so I'm reading what I'm promoting in my show. American renewable energy independence through a carbon tax and meditation. We'll do that next. That's important. Okay. Vegetarianism and the fundamentals of math, science, ethical living. I'm open to collaborate to collaborate with a caring woman, or collaborate with anybody. Okay, but I'm talking about a long-term relationship I'm open to. Maybe a short-term relationship in terms of my life expectancy. So if making a better world or helping people turns you on, please contact me for meaningful interactions and collaborations. With best wishes, yours affectionately, David. To prove you read this ad, put the letters DK to the left of spiritual activist in your headline. I get about 10 emails back that haven't even read this every time I put it up. I'm really doing this recently. Please also share your main civic issue and what you're doing to deal with it. Thanks for sharing. My current main issue is economic justice. A new issue I'm just starting is a children's liberation movement from junk foods and junk ideas. Okay, so let's get into meditation. I have a new, I'm really taking a lot of time. That's okay. We'll go to the meditation benefits and go right into meditation. Okay. The meditation benefits to attain inner peace, because our minds are always talking, quite often, nonsense, and we believe it. And that's destructive if it's nonsense. And yet, we don't have good values, because that's what my children's liberation movement is going to be. So I'm ready to talk about that, but let's stay with the spirituality. Okay. So, we have inner peace, we'll spread out of peace, according to the Master. We can achieve more at school, work, or on our projects. And also we get guidance, so instead of just going around in a circle, we get clearer goals, or awaken our passions. And we were going in this world. Otherwise, without passion for doing something meaningful, we're sort of drifting, sort of wasting our energy, wasting our life force. We should stay focused on the kind of work we're going to do and the kind of good we're going to do in this world. Those are the two things. See, work is what we do to earn a living. That's service for money. And then we have to do selfless service for those who are in need, those who are mentally ill, homeless, or sick, or poor. They all need help. So we can awaken true love, which is, according to the Master, eventually getting the radiant being to come, not during a near-death experience, but during our meditations, if we meditate properly. And eventually we'll guide our attention to an inner plane of true love. This is the story the Master gives. Okay. So let's meditate, as I said. I did an experiment a few minutes ago. I was comfortable. I got comfortable. I was lying on my back in my bed. I don't fall asleep that way, so it's not a problem. If you fall asleep that way, then it's a problem. So then you better sit up in a chair. Close eyes gently. Yeah, I did that. I'm doing it now. Be fully alert, but relaxed. Don't move. Be perfectly still. And we look forward with our attention. Our eyes should be maybe 8 to 10 inches in front of us, but we look with our attention into the middle. Effortlessly, no effort. And you got to do it constantly. And to stop the mind from wandering, if you get a thought, the mind will experience the thought and won't be able to look forward into the middle. The key idea is to look forward into the middle with our attention. So we have two things we can mentally repeat to keep the mind quiet, so we can focus our attention. For atheists, I chose love, but you could choose peace, joy, whatever is ethical. And I chose love God. I love God. And I did it for 20 things in my mind. I love God 1. I love God 2. Took me to do 20. It took me 1 minute and 17 seconds. No, I can time it again. So I got more than one watch. There's a watch here that I'm using now to keep track of time. But I got a stopwatch. You see? You can't see unless I put it on the light there. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's at 000 now. A stopwatch. So I'm going to do 20 in my mind. I love God. It's only going to take 1 minute and 17 seconds. I'm verifying what I did one time. Let's see. I'm going to do it slowly, so it might take longer. And then afterwards, I'll do a listening. No, we're doing a looking method. We look into the middle, okay? You do whatever you want. You can say Jesus Christ, Muhammad. You don't have to count, but if you want to count, let's see if your count is the same as mine. I'm counting to 20. I love God 1. I love God 2. Here I go. Ready, get set, go. I'm up to 10. It's already taken 54 seconds. I'm going slower than I did before. Okay, I'm going to continue. So I love God 15, 1 minute and 26 seconds. Okay, 1 minute and 58 seconds almost. So it's about 1 minute for each I love God 10 times. I love God. Okay, so I did I love God 20 times. It took me almost 2 minutes. I was going slower. And I was trying to look into the middle as I'm mentally repeating the mantra in my head. In the tongue of thought, they call it. So we don't use our mouth, we just use our brain, or mind, I should say, maybe better. Okay, so now I said we would do the listening meditation. So I'm going to be counting, to 20. But I shouldn't be doing it because you're supposed to stop every mental thought. But okay, I'll just be counting to 20. See how long it takes me to count to 20. Maybe I should just use the word love only. See, simple. Love 1, love 2. Okay? Will it take me 2 minutes or will it take me less? But the point is, I'm not going to be looking particularly. I'm going to be, this is not the way the Master says. He says, stop all mental repetition. But I don't have a watch here or a timer. My countdown timer died, and I can't open up the timer to get the battery out. They got the thing so impossible to put in the screws to keep lock the battery in. Okay, so let's go to 0. And now what you got to do is listen to the sound from above, with your attention looking forward. So I'm keeping my attention forward. That my friend says that's not the right idea. See, he's on the path also, but he left the path. You know. So I can do it 2 ways. I can just listen to the sound and not look forward, or I can look forward. You see. And listen at the same time. But here I'm going to do the word love also. Love one for 20, but I'm going to try to listen mainly, okay? And if looking comes naturally, I'll worry about it. Yeah, okay. So I'm looking now forward. I'm ready to start the, listen for 20 seconds, okay? Not 20 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. Here goes. See how long it takes. Okay. Oh, I was done quick. I guess it only took me 53 seconds to go love 1, love 2, to love 20. See, I was listening as I'm doing that. I can listen now to the inner sound at the third eye. Anyway, so I just gave you 2 meditation practices that you can get initiated, you see? You get initiated for free. You see, you get initiated for free. Okay, we're not going to have much time for economic justice this half hour. That's okay. We're into meditation. Maybe I can wind up with my own pitch. Okay. Free initiation into proper meditation. We don't watch the breath. If you watch the breath, you can't leave the body, according to the teachers of the science of spirituality. If you want to get something interesting, will initiate you if you go to Chicago. Or if you don't go to Chicago, you get initiated by the representatives in any city. They have representatives. They have over 1,400 centers a few years ago. I don't know. I haven't got the latest figures. But to get initiated, you got to be willing to be a vegetarian, to avoid recreational drugs, street drugs, not to drink alcohol, and to work for your living through the sweat of your brow. Online, you can download free videos of the master giving talks. And at the end of his talk, he puts the audience into meditation, usually, for a few minutes. And he's got writings for free you can watch. All at sos.org, Science of Spirituality. And every Saturday, today, if it's Saturday, you get a free talk from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., lunchtime. And there's a free lunch between 12:30 and 1:45 where they socialize. And they meet at 40 East 35th Street downstairs in Manhattan, between Park and Madison Avenue. As you face the church, it's closer to they rent a room in the Universalist Church or Unitarian Church. As you face south downtown, the church is closer to Park Avenue, and to the right of the church is a staircase downstairs where they meet to do meditation. An hour before 11:30, they have a quiet, silent meditation. Okay, so that's about initiation. And this is about meditation. And our purpose, according to the Master, the ultimate purpose of being here is to go back to God. And he says through meditation. Now, I don't know if you can go back through good works. You know, maybe that's true also, but definitely through meditation, because if you meditate, you get in touch with your divine self, which does good works anyway. I mean, then you want to do good work if you awaken love, because if you awaken love, you can't hurt people. You have compassion for them. Okay, so that's the story about the Master, and we're going to have a few minutes left to wind up. So let's get back to my interest. Dedicated parents. I'm just watching. See, it's going to go off, the alarm. Oh, there, it went off. Hear it? Da, 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 da. That means I got 2 minutes to go for Manhattan and 2.5 minutes to go for Queens and Brooklyn. And then I go an extra half minute anyway. Okay, so now we know what we're doing. Okay. So I'm looking for dedicated parents, students, teachers, public, a soulmate even, a collaborator. To live with me, but not to, you know, but anybody who wants to collaborate. To improve the curriculum and help with my TV show. Become a co-host. Or if you're a student, I'd be glad to educate you on the show or off the show, you know. I'd prefer to educate you on the show to show how other teachers could educate, or how parents could educate their children, you know. So you'd be of some use by having me educate you. So parents can see how I do it, and if they like the way I do it, they can do it to their children or with their children. Okay, email me dkc@gmail.com. And if you say nothing, you get back a leaflet on economic justice that I haven't talked about this show much. I only showed the basic idea for economic justice is right here. Robert Reich's plan to shift $600 billion from the top 5% to the bottom 95% earnings credit. And that's a lot of money. It's $20,000, $15,000 for every person who works a full time, you know, who makes less than $20,000. Okay, it's a lot more than that, but time is flying. Time has flown. Well, now, for those who are not in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, go dkc@gmail.com. I'll even educate you if you want. I live in Midtown West, in the Times Square area. So the second half of the show will start soon. For those but they don't know this right now. Maybe they do know this. Doesn't really matter. Yes, they do know this, because it's going straight through. Okay, so even now you're in Manhattan, you're listening to me still. So if you want to do something for humanity, come on my show. Let's get. You can educate me, maybe. Show me how you educate me. I'm open to that too. I'm always learning. Okay, but I got a lot of experience that you can learn from me. So have a great day, and in 2 seconds I'll be back. Welcome back to my show, Math, Science, and Ethical Living. I thought we'd start off the show. This is from Brooklyn and Queens. Those are Manhattan. Because I divide my show into two 30-minute segments for Brooklyn and Queens. See, Manhattan, I got an hour show. Okay, see, I learn how to be efficient. So the first thing we'll do, the most important thing of all, is we're going to meditate a minute. And then another minute. So we're meditating 2 minutes. About. Okay? And here are the instructions. And the benefits are enormous. Okay? Eventually, maybe, getting back to God. never having to come back into this world again. Directly into paradise through meditation. Okay, that's the purpose, the ultimate purpose. And then there are minor purposes like inner peace, outer peace, guidance, and awakening love, and developing tremendous power of the mind to accomplish anything you want to accomplish in work, school, or on your projects. That's the power of meditation, control of the mind. Okay? Okay. The instructions. You can be in any position and meditate. I'm meditating now. But it's better to be in a comfortable position because we want to be able to keep our gaze constant for a long time, effortlessly. See? So we close our eyes gently. Sitting is probably the best position to be in, because we can stay awake longest that way, alert longest that way, and most comfortable that way, most likely. Be fully alert and relax. Don't move. Be totally still to keep the concentration effortlessly and constantly forward. Look forward into the middle. That's the key idea. Looking into the middle. Our eyes are focused 8 to 10 inches in front of us, but we look with our attention into the middle. And so you can repeat anything you like. Let's do the same thing together. Let's mentally repeat, I love God. If you don't love God, I'm just winging it here, but if you don't, so I love peace. How about I love peace? How about that's a good idea. If you don't love God, you can say I love peace. You don't love peace? What do you love? Okay. Without peace, you can't have any happiness. You know. Okay. So let's say I love God, and if you're an atheist, you can say I love peace. Okay. I'm going to say it 10 times. That should be about a minute. Okay? So I'm going to say, I love God 1. I love God 2. And while I'm saying it, I'm going to be looking with my attention forward into the middle. Okay? So here goes. I got my, doesn't matter. I got a timer here. Let's see how long it takes. I got to get rid of this thing here and start fresh. This is see, you can see that. The light is in front, not in back. 0, 0, 0. Can you see that? Let me see. Okay. Now I see how you use the light. Okay, it's reflecting off that. Okay, you ready? So we're going to go up to 10 only. Last time I went up to 20 and it took 2 minutes. So doing a minute meditation, I may do it so slow, it may take 2 minutes. We'll see how my mind works. Are you ready? Here goes. Oh, it took me 54 seconds to go from I love God 1 to I love God 10. Okay. And I was trying to look into the middle as I'm repeating this mentally. That's the key idea. To look forward into the middle. Now let's try a listening meditation. I'm going to count love 1, love 2, to love 10. But instead of looking only, normally we stop the mental repetition, but I don't have a counter here, So I'm going to do the. So I'm doing it wrong, according to the master. But I don't think it's so terrible. And I'm going to be listening instead of looking. I'll be looking also maybe, but definitely listening. You know. Okay, here goes. So I'm going to get rid of the. Oh, you see, it was just to prove I was. Let me see. 54 seconds. Now I'm going to erase it. So I just erased it. Oh boy, look at that. I have to learn to focus. There's a light. It doesn't really matter. I don't have to rush. Where am I rushing to? Okay, so I'm going to do love to 10. I'm going to do very slow. I'm going to be listening. I'll tell you if I hear anything. I can't repeat. I'm not supposed to say anything about my. We're forbidden to talk about our inner experiences, but I could, you know. But I'm not allowed to. That's not a story. Sometimes I might, you know, even though I'm not allowed to. It shows you I'm not a full listener. Anyway, I'm not going to beat myself up. I am who I am, who I am. Okay, here goes. Ready? Start. We're listening now at the third eye. Okay, that was pretty quick, it seemed like. Only 35 seconds. You see? Can I get it there? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need this anymore. Oh, started again. Okay, 35 seconds. Okay. So now you know, there are a lot of people who tell me, I can't meditate. I can't do. Okay. I just showed you a way to do it for a minute. If you're one of those people who don't realize and are afraid to even make an attempt, just do a minute of looking, a minute of listening, see? And if you're a normal person and not afraid of the world, try 5 looking and 5 listening without the mantra. And then build up to 10-10, looking and listening, and then 15 and 15. And the master says, when you're at 30 minutes, 15 looking, 15 listening, stop there until you become proficient. I mean, you're actually able to see with your third eye, which is between and behind the 2 eyebrows. By looking forward into the middle, the master says that will automatically bring us there. And if we keep looking into the middle, we'll see light. And eventually, maybe even the radiant being. If we can effortlessly, constantly focus our attention into the middle. So this gave you the power to transform yourself. Okay? Maybe I should have been doing this for the last 6 years since I started. In March of 2003, making hour shows then. March 2003, March 23rd. No, before March 23rd, because March 19th was the invasion into Iraq. So I started this show to stop the invasion into Iraq. I didn't succeed because people didn't, and they still don't appreciate 1, 10, hundreds of networks. If we were all united, we could have said, go after Saddam Hussein through the UN, through bounty hunters. Go after the worst torturers in the world, who was Saddam Hussein, I would think, and make an example of him, and offer $100 million to bring him in alive, or dead even, dead or alive, and go after the people who are protecting him, all around him, offer $10 million for each one of them, and then anybody who brings him in, alive or dead, would get $100 million and be, what do you call it, when you don't have any penalties? Amnesty, I guess they call that. Even his 2 sons, who are more horrible than him, who died early on in the American strikes against Iraq, they could have had amnesty. They could have made $100 million and turned their father in, put him in a cage or something. Anyway, but they didn't. That was my idea in February of 2003 when I made shows to stop the war in Iraq. I didn't succeed. Now I'm trying to create a human awakening chain reaction now. I'm still trying. I'm not succeeding. We want to stop this. Here we can make a human chain reaction for, what is a human chain reaction? You can do it by tens, you can do it by nines, eight, even threes is powerful. Even well, two takes a little too long, but threes can be pretty quick. Exponential equation, 17 time cycles, where each person gets three. In other words, 3 people get 3, that's 9, and those 9 get 3, that's 27, and those 27 get 3, that's 81. How many time cycles is that? 3 is 1 time cycle, 9 is 2, 27 is 3, 81 is 4. So in 4 time cycles, we reach 81 people. In the 5th time cycle, it's 200 and anyway, it's 81 times 3. It's 243, I think it is, if my mind is working. Okay, but at 17 time cycles, it could be an hour. You get 3 people an hour. It's not hard by phone. Or it could be a day, 17 days. You reach 129 million people. In 19 time cycles, it could be hours, days, weeks. Everybody getting 3 new people in the following time cycle. That would be over 1 billion people. It could be done in 1 day. It could be done, or in 19 days, or 19 weeks to get 3 people. But I'm saying get 10. It's quicker. 10 to the 8 is 8 time cycles. 10 to the 8 is 100 million people. 10 to the 9 is 1 billion. That's quicker by 9s, by 10s, I mean. Okay, so so here's the message, which there's only one message. There's so many. Meditating is probably the most powerful message. Learn to meditate. Start with 1 minute of looking, 1 minute of listening. Build up to 5, 10. The master says, after you get 15 and 15, then you build up to 2 hours, an hour of each, when you're proficient and you're enjoying it, so you want to do it, you know? He says an hour of meditation is equal to 4 hours of sleep. But it's so hard to meditate because the mind won't stop chattering. Okay, so U.S. workers who work full time, they can get an extra, well, see, he has different ways of giving the money out, you know. He's got another $210 billion from a carbon tax, you see, a tax on carbon. He says a tax in this book. You can look up 129 page to 132. It's what he calls it. What does he call it? He calls it a. I don't like his name. He calls it a reverse income tax. But it's just a way of shifting wealth. Not wealth. Income. You know the difference? Income is what you earn, and wealth is what you accumulate after you earn it. Okay. So he wants to. There are many different ways. This is just one way of doing it. My way would be to get the $500 billion without taking a penny away from the top income people. Just have them invested in their own lives. And what we need to make their houses energy efficient. All the houses were built on the cheap because the owners of the house have to pay the energy bills. So the people who built the houses, you know, cut corners in energy efficiency. You know, they did the minimum. So the owner would benefit. The payback period could be 5 years, 10 years. That's a good investment. But a lot of these owners don't have the common sense or the ethical foundation to do this, or the knowledge to do this. You know? You know, so the top 10%, they own over 11 million homes, households. That's how many are in the top 10%, over 11 million. And that's one home each. But a lot of them have multi-homes, you know. So we can get millions of workers working right now. His idea is to give the bottom 95% more income so they could buy things. And they don't have the income to promote the society. There's a whole other idea, this idea of growth, endless growth. There are a lot of alternatives I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about just doing what the system is doing already. But there are a lot of alternatives that don't just keep promoting growth. That's another story which I'm not getting into because this is a simple way to make employment right now, you know, maintaining the same, I don't want to use negative words, the same way we do things, you know. There are a lot of new ways I haven't talked about on my show because I'm trying to get the most, you know, what's being done now, just to do the same in the proper way. So I don't go into other possibilities, you know. There are lots of other possibilities. I could talk about some now, maybe. For Obama, how much time we got left? 8 minutes and 32 seconds before I got to wind up. Anyway. So the key idea is to unite over a common issue. Economic justice. If you think about it, there's a lot of things to do. Shifting income is one way to do it, from the top 5 to the bottom 95. And he explains how to do it exactly. Robert Reich's book, Aftershock. What does it cost? USA, $14.95. I bought it for about $10 from Amazon. It's always cheaper at Amazon. Brand new book. I bought a couple other books I'm not going to bother with. How to solve our problems, you know, in this country. So, anyway. So we got to elect new lawmakers.